am I? Oh, bud. Oh, well, that didn't work either. All right. Hi, chat. Let me. Yeah. All right. So today, we're gonna play Baldur's Gate 3. But first, we're gonna talk about the copious amounts of spoilers that popped up today for Final Fantasy Magic: The Gathering, because that was today. That was today. So, anyway, I done. So we're gonna talk about that first. Hi, Tamarsa. We'll go through each game one at a time, and if you guys would like the link, follow along. Here you go. Pin it, and then I'll unpin it in a minute. But we're gonna talk about those today, and I'll explain a whole bunch of stuff about Magic: The Gathering as we go. That way, if you're not familiar with the game, we can touch base on it. For those of you who don't know, my background in Magic: The Gathering, I started playing in 2012, and I became a judge in. Oh, I started playing in 2011, and I became a judge in 2012. I've been a level 1 judge for. I was level 1 judge for 10 years, and then I let my certification lapse back in like 2022, 2020, 2022 era. Whenever COVID was a thing, it was a whole big deal. Honestly, I just got burnt out. I've been to places like Gen Con. I've done a bunch of SCG, Star City Games events. I did a lot of stuff for my local store. Um, Magic's really cool. I learned from my high school band teacher, and I'm actually still friends with him. I see him pretty often, actually. He goes to the store I'm at, and pretty good friends. I know his wife and his kids, and they have. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move to the other scene really quick, so that way you guys can both see me and we can see chat, and then that way I can upload it later to YouTube if you guys want the explanation again. I know everything. Oh no, not at all. I haven't done anything seriously for Magic in terms of like tournament stuff in years. So some knowledge I have may be outdated, but we're gonna explain it the best I can, and we'll go from there. I'm also gonna try to do some quick lore tidbits on Final Fantasy characters for people that don't play Final Fantasy but do play Magic, and I'm gonna upload them as shorts. So I hope y'all like it. Let's go over. Oh, what the heck? Murphy! Why am I in the corner, Murphy? Murphy! Why am I smiling in the corner, Murphy? Okay. There's that. And let's teleport Murphy. Alright. A wheel! Alright. And code projector. Put this over here so I can make sure that y'all can see. Can I make something? Alright, there we go. We can all see the magic cards to the left, right? Everybody can see. We can all read. Tails going behind it. Perfect. So we're going to go through the games. And we're going to start out Final Fantasy 1. And I understand that for those of us who play copious amounts of Final Fantasy 14, we probably want to see those references first, but we're going to start from 1 and go to 16 because I just figured it'd be easier. Some things to note about this set. It does feature cards from all the games, and when we talk about the layout of the card, we're going to say... Please, why is that like... So when we talk about the layout of the card, we're going to have a handful of things. We're at the mana cost, what type of card it is, and its effects. Everybody can read it, right? We do play Final Fantasy 14, so it might be hard to read. The other thing about the cards that's kind of cool, it does in fact have the game that each card is from bottom. So if you're out collecting or anything like that, you can see down here. Can't see, there's my mouse. Down here, you can see what game it comes from. So Final Fantasy 1, this is the artist, this is the set, this is the collector number, this is the rarity. So like if you like Yu-Gi-Oh or something, make comment, and that also denoted here. So first things first, let's talk about what it means to have a Magic the Gathering card. Magic the Gathering cards are composed of a handful of different things: art, text, type, cost. The amount of value that a card has is usually denoted by the cost and the effect and what type it is. Some people collect for art. Some people collect because they like the media that it's based off of. So like we had the Warhammer 40k stuff for a while. People really enjoyed those games, those Schniblies as well. Highly recommend looking at the 40k decks if you can find one cheap. If you find one in MSRP in your store, definitely worth picking up because they are expensive and they are really strong ones. So starting with the equipment here, this is a new equipment. It is brand new to this Final Fantasy set. It is not a reprint of anything. I will point out if anything is a reprint. So this is a new mechanic for anybody who does play Magic. This makes a random creature. It's just a temporary creature. They're called tokens. And you automatically put this equipment on it. So it's basically like making a level 1 character in Final Fantasy games. And this one makes it a white mage. Makes it a little bit stronger every time. Or it makes it a little bit stronger whenever it's equipped. And it turns it into a cleric. Yep, it's a 2/2 for 1 white that can transfer its buff to another creature and has lifesteal. Not technically lifesteal. Because it doesn't actually has lifelink on it. It just says you gain 1 life. So that means that no matter how much stronger you made the creature that this is attached to, so whoever had the staff, it wouldn't actually make it make you gain more life. Yeah, you can move this to anybody, so then you can change anybody to be a white mage because anybody that wears the staff will become a cleric. So they become a white mage. It's a really deep mechanic. Oh, Rosa. You have no idea what you're in for. No idea what you're in for. Let's go to the next one. They also spoiled the Black Mage's Rod, which is similar to the other one, except this one makes your thing only stronger on the front end, so it makes it hit harder instead of it take more damage. And if you cast a spell that's a non-creature spell, so it's not a dude, okay, so it's not a person, so it's not a person or a creature or a critter or a cat or whatever, it deals damage to everything. There is a spells matter sub theme that's going on that we'll see when we get to the Final Fantasy 9 cards in particular. That's very good for playing non-creature spells in particular. So that's things like a lightning bolt that does direct damage, any kind of like buffing spell or things like that. Anything that's not a dude. We'll look at red. So these cards that feature the concept art from the older games. Most of the time it is the concept art, but I think somebody did some of them are actual art that was done for this. They have said that they have something like that. But so this art is a reprint of something that already exists. So in this case, this is an ancient copper dragon. So this card actually already exists under this name. Okay, remind me what the rules are. If a creature, if an artifact is attached to, gets killed, and standard enchantments go to the graveyard. To equipped artifacts just stay in play and need reattachment. Correct. Yep. Auras will go to the graveyard. Equipments will stay. You can think of it as the equivalent of having your creature drink a Gatorade that gives them buffs, or wearing a hat. If you kill the guy, the hat still stays, but the Gatorade's gone forever, you know? But yeah, this is a reprint. There's a whole, we call them bonus sheets. What it is it's a print sheet of cards that is in addition to the typical set and will be included on a rare basis in various booster packs that features this art and other arts like it. We'll see some more of these here in a minute for other reprints. Like this one. This is the Cloud Sea Jin. And this is also Yoshitaka Amano art. But this was also a reprint. It's a Nyx Bloom Ancient. Just slap his ass in the face with a fish. Yeah, so he's also a reprint. And these are found in specific foil treatments as well and things like that. So here's some multicolor spells too. This is a flip card. So it has a different front and a back. So this is Garland. He also has a full art borderless version. We'll see that here in a minute too. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, so that's like instant sorceries, equipments, enchantments, things like that, you can surveil one. So you can look at the top card of your library and leave it on the top of your library or put it in your graveyard. So it's a little bit of mana fixing. I've come to kill chaos. Yeah, right? You can pay this amount to reanimate him from your graveyard, transformed. Bloop. And he turns into chaos. And when he dies, you put him on the bottom of your... yep. You carrot fish. That's what he turns into. You're so right. He's a flying for 5/5. He's a flying 5/5 for 7 mana. Not great. Not gonna lie, but he is an uncommon. Not like great in terms of power, but he just looks sick as fuck. Here's the borderless version. Here's the borderless version. And then here's the full art land. So, Mercadia, they have what's called checklist cards. And you can put those inside your deck in place of that. Or you can use fully opaque sleeves. Either option is viable, but they must be fully opaque. I recommend Dragon Shield dual mats or any kind of black or jet or petrol colored Dragon Shields or anything that color. I have given people game losses for marked cards when they came in playing double face cards and they weren't using checklist cards, because when you go into, and this is competitive REL, mind you, you will not get a game loss just going to your store playing FNM. They will be like, hey, what's up? What's with your card? And they'll be like, you'll be like, these were the only sleeves I had, and they'll be like, let's find you a checklist card, you know, we can't have see-through schnipplies, you know, that's not good, not good for you, but at competitive levels, they do expect you to have the foresight to say, hey, you're playing at a higher level of play, this is not just casual play at the store, we want to make sure that everybody has a fair, fun, and equal level playing environment, so please make sure that you cannot see through the back of your card sleeves. Okay. We're getting there. Anyways, this is a basic land. This is what you use to cast spells. You'll have a huge number of these in your deck. There's one of these for every game, I believe. One of these basics. That's it for Final Fantasy 1. Let's check out the next one. Cool. So we're starting out with a reprint here. This is a Yoshitaka Amano reprint of Firion, Swordmaster. He's this particular Firion, there are a few Firions that are getting printed, full disclosure. This is a reprint of SRAM Senior Edificer. He's a Dwarf Advisor, and he's pretty neat. Okay. So this is the Firion that's planted as a rare in the main set. He's an Equipments Matter kind of guy. He wants to be in a deck full of equipments. So the thing that you're missing is that this is a reprint of a card. This is not his actual card. This is a reprint that they used as a kind of like a way to print this particular art to a card, similar to the Godzilla cards that they've done in the past. It's a way so that way they can reprint certain cards with new art without actually impacting the standard play. So the real Firion for the set is down here. And I need to tell you guys ahead of time, every mainline Final Fantasy character has multiple printings, multiple art, and multiple treatments. Okay? There's at least 3 printings of every mainline guy so far that they have shown us, if not more, depending on who the card is of. Looking at you, Sephiroth. So, this is Firion. He likes equipment, which we already knew, even when we looked at like Dissidia and stuff like that. So they really leaned into the Dissidia energy and his energy and made it so be that he has equipment matters. So anything, this means that if you slap a sword on a creature, or if you play like that white mage staff with this guy, this means that they can attack people as soon as they come out. He makes them angry if they got swords. Also, he gives you extra equipment, which in the case of that white mage staff earlier, we were talking about that job change thing, or choose a job. Oh, drop my head down. We were talking about that earlier. This means that you would get an extra one of those equipments, which means an extra token. And that token can attack. Okay? That token or whatever, the one that's made from the equipment, stays. The token equipment that's a copy that he makes goes away, because it does have to be sacrificed. That's what this means, so you have to get rid of it. That's it next turn. So, here's one of his alternate art treatments. This is the showcase treatment. Trying to scroll. I have paused, I'm sorry. This is his showcase treatment. Every mainline Final Fantasy character has one of these. It is the character with alternate art in front of a background that has a solid color background with the Roman numeral of the Final Fantasy character. You'll notice that we didn't have one for Final Fantasy 1 yet. They have not shown us the Warrior of Light yet. We will get these leading up to the Schniblies. Was the order of operation something like Citizen's Crowbar? Can I use this artifice effect even if I make a copy of that sacrifice a turn? Hold on. This is the same thing as the White Mage Staff. So, let's say you play the crowbar, right? You get the citizen where it's attached to the crowbar, right? So let's say that you play that, then you'll get a copy of a crowbar. And what that crowbar says, when it enters the battlefield, it enters attached to a 1/1 token. So you have 2 tokens, a real crowbar, and a fake crowbar attached to the other token. Both of these are real crowbars, and you can use all of the abilities that are listed on the crowbars. At the next upkeep, which is at the beginning of your opponent's turn, assuming that you played this on your turn, the crowbar that is attached, the fake crowbar, gets sacrificed, and that other citizen stays. So at the next upkeep, you would have your real crowbar attached to a citizen, and then another citizen that has no crowbar. Yeah. But it's not, I don't think it's it wasn't a sacrifice, was it? It was a destroy target enchantment? White tap, sacrifice citizens, crowbar tap. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. You can tap that crowbar and get the thing. You can pay white, tap the creature, and sack the crowbar. Mostly because he gives it haste. So you'd be able to tap it as soon as it came into the battlefield if you wanted. Alright. This is the borderless art of the one that we saw earlier. This is a foil variation of the one that we saw earlier. There's something called Surge foiling now, which is only available in collector boosters, and it's a wavy foil pattern on the cards. Full disclosure, if you like shiny things, Magic foils are a firm okay. They look really cool, but due to the printing process of Magic the Gathering foils, they do tend to do what we call pringle or curl. It means that if you put a foil card down and leave it for a little bit, the moisture in the air will cause the paper side to expand and the other side is not, and that means they're going to curl up like a Pringle chip. So I recommend those for collecting, not playing typically. All right, here's my favorite card that's been spoiled today. Commune with Beavers. Guys speak beaver. Guys speak beaver. Wah! Hi, welcome in. Hi, GJ man. How are you today? We're talking about Magic the Gathering cards before we get started today. Let me get a shout out. Dead by Daylight. Nice. I hope you had a great time. Are you also Magic the Gathering fans? Please look at this man's face. Look at his face. He's like, I hope you had a great stream. He is a Raised by Wolves kind of deal, but look at his face. That is not a Raised by Wolves kind of deal. That's a I had way too much to eat.
Are you open?
Hi, Dusky. How are you?
I'll have a Krabby Patty Deluxe and a double chili kelp fries.
But yeah, this one so far has been my favorite, mostly because, like, one, I love this beaver. Two, the card is solid. It's one green and look at top three. So like it's not awful. It gets you a land if you're stuck, or a creature, or a crit, or I don't know, just get you whatever besides a source or spell. So why? Why would you do that? All right. So here's the emperor. Here's the emperor. That non-creature thing I was talking about earlier. That he is part of that non-creature spells matter strategy. He's the one of the ones that cares about this. Yes, exactly. Y'all hate me. So he's part of that spells matter thing. When he's saying it's at least 4 mana is spent on it, he cares about this appeal, and in some cases, an additional cost. And we'll talk about those later when we get to some of the older games, like Final Fantasy IX, because they have the Fire Magic and the Ice Magic spells in those, and we'll get there because they cost 1 mana and then have an additional cost at the bottom. So let's look at the back of it. Also, the +1/+1 counters that have to be put on him do not have to come from his ability. They can be from other things, but it does care about the +1/+1 counters and not his power toughness. This is very important, chat. Here is the back. When he attacks, he deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard. So he wants you to cast a lot of spells. So equipment, enchantment, but not summons. They do not count because they are enchantment saga creatures, okay? They will not count in this part. There is a little bit of self-mill support, and I feel like he would probably do okay with Garland, but I don't think that I will go all in on that. I think I would stick to him being red blue. But he's going to be really fun and probably definitely in a commander setup with Vivi, who we will talk about in a little bit. Also, let's talk about the SIDS, because the SIDS are really important. Oh, thank God, it's been 2 minutes. Anyways, the SIDS are really important. There are 15 different printings of Sid in the Final Fantasy set. Okay? 15. I haven't seen any artifact creatures yet. Okay, and they have released spoilers since I was at work, but they haven't shown me any artifact creatures, but this will be a thing that happens. Heroes are are also on all those equipment. The token that is made is a hero token, so it does do this. So for +1/+1 for each artificer you control, so that is referring to this right here, and each artificer card in your graveyard. Okay, so this means that anything with this creature type counts towards this ability. This means that you can have literally any number of cards in your deck with this name, no matter the art. Normally, the limit to a card is 4, but this means that you could play all 15 Sids if you really wanted to. Sid Tribal is a thing. This means that you can put the Sids into your graveyard to draw another card, which means that you can make this go up a little higher. This is the Borderless Emperor. And they have not shown us one of the ones with the numbered treatment. They may not because of the Firian getting one. There may only be one per game at the moment. This is the full art land for this. That crystal mine place. And that's it for 2 so far. Let's take a look at Final Fantasy 3. They have not shown us a lot for Final Fantasy 3. The big thing is that they showed us the Crystal's Chosen, which is a sorcery. It can only be cast on your turn. It costs 7 mana. It gives us 4 hero tokens, and then lets us put +1/+1 counters on everything. I think it's okay. I don't think it's going to be like format breaking, but this will definitely be a good bomb to play in Limited if you end up having to draft into White or something. I think there is going to be a cycle of these crystals. This has not been confirmed, but I do think there's going to be a cycle of these crystals because it says black spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and normally those are done in a cycle. Fish crystal. Exiling means it goes to a zone that is not the graveyard, which means that it's somewhere that you can't get stuff back. And it does have a reanimate effect, so this actually might be pretty okay. We'll see. This is the borderless art that they did. This is an alternate art that they've done. Token creature get +1/+1 counters? Absolutely. The only thing that makes token creatures different is that they will interact differently with certain effects because they will say non-token specifically. And when they go to a zone that is not the battlefield, they will cease to exist due to state-based actions. The game will still see that they went to that place, but then they will immediately cease to exist. There is no time to respond. So if you had something that said when this creature dies, which means that when it gets sent to the graveyard, that effect will still happen to token creatures, but anything else that deals with like trying to get it back or anything like that doesn't. Here's the Sid for Final Fantasy 3. And here's one of the lands. I think this land is a firm okay. It'll probably be fine in Limited because you may want a little bit of life gain, but past that, I don't think it will see competitive play at all. It is going to be very cheap to get if you like it. The full art land for Final Fantasy 3 is a Chocobo Forest. All right, here's what everybody's been wanting Final Fantasy 4. This is Cecil. He's double-sided. He has Death Touch. This means that any amount of damage to a creature is lethal damage. So he can kill stuff just by gently love tapping it. We called it generic back then, but that diamond symbol is colorless mana. So you could use it to spend for any like number, but not this symbol. It has a specific symbol now that requires specific colorless mana. It was done in one of the Eldrazi sets. So that is why that exists. That symbol anyways. And we do have basic lands that produce that colorless mana, and they're called wastes. And we will see a waste later today. There is a custom waste for the Final Fantasy set. This has been the second time they've been reprinted, I think. We don't have a lot of basic land wastes in the game right now. All right, so He wants your health to be low before he transforms, and he turns into a paladin on the back, and he gives your stuff indestructible whenever you attack. This is a good way to probably get some stuff through whenever you're playing a game to try to maybe close it out. Here is Kane. So jump is a mechanic that is present on multiple cards. It has not been officially spoiled yet, but there is a Freya from Final Fantasy IX that has jump as well. It is mono red. It is present only in the starter decks. It was done from there was a leak that involved that, and you can find it on Reddit if you want to go look for it, but I'm not going to link it. So this means that whenever you hit a player, you give Kane to that player, and then you draw, like, let's say he does 2 damage, so then you would draw 2 cards, create 2 treasure tokens, or a specific kind of token, and then lose that much life. Here is Cecil's card for his special treatment, and here's the back. Like, scoot this up a little. I feel like y'all are missing out here. There. So, I'll show the front again. He's wearing like a diaper, chat. He's wearing the diaper. And then here's his borderless of the original card that we showed up above. And here's the borderless Kane. This will be the Surge foil printing of Cecil, only found in collector boosters. This is the Cid for Final Fantasy IV. And here's the land. That's all they've shown us so far. So for Final Fantasy V, we have their Tonberry. It comes in tapped, which is pretty flavorful. Yep. 2/1 first striker on your turn and has Death Touch. Very flavorful card. I think it'll be good in limited. Unsure of how it'll do in standard, but I haven't played standard in a while, so don't take the opinions of this pink cat. The things that I'm excited about are probably going to be more for limited and commander. But considering he's a 1 mana, probably pretty solid in most cases. He's basically a kill spell in a lot of cases. Alright, so here's Gilgamesh. He also really cares about equipment. So this means you get to look at the top 6 cards of your deck, and if those top 6 cards are all equipment, you can put them on the battlefield. And when you put an equipment on the battlefield, you can attach them to a samurai you control. Hey, look! He's a samurai! That's crazy. So if you're playing an Equipment Matters deck, he would probably be really good in it. Here's an alternate art for him. Fish slap a day keeps the doctor away. So true. There is no limit how many equipment can be attached to one creature. Here's his borderless. Loading. 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 Session, you've missed so much. We've been learning so much about magic. Birds matter is a topic for this underlying theme for this thing. Birds matter will be a theme for the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy set. So if you want to play Chocobo Tribal, you can totally play Chocobo Tribal. This is Bart's and Boko. Affinity for birds right here. So it costs 1 less to cast for each bird you control. When Bart's and Boko enters, each other bird you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. This means that they just get to deal damage without having to worry about getting slapped back. However, I do want to point out this this super type here. It's called Legendary. This means that you can only have one of this exact name card on your side of the battlefield at any time. This doesn't mean that you can play like 4 Barts and Boko and keep him and get to do all the schniblies. It does mean that you can only have one. If you play a second Barts and Boko, you will have to choose to sacrifice one, but you will get both effects from the end of the battlefield. You'll just only get to keep one. Pesky state-based action. All right. I like that his type is also human bird. It just sounds not great. Here's his borderless version. They have not shown us the showcase card for that one yet. Here is the Sid from that one. Also, hi, Session. You've missed a lot. And here's our land. It's the spooky ship graveyard. I also really do want to point out that there are a couple cards that are available in the Final Fantasy Twitter that they did not have on this website yet. So. No, except spoiler season has just started. We will have an additional trickle of spoilers throughout the time up until the Final Fantasy release. So I will make it a point to go over the brand new cards every time we get some new cards up on the website so that you guys can see them just in case you don't know where to go look or if you're interested. We'll do a quick once over. This will be the longest go over of the cards that we will have because they released the bulk of them today, or a large bulk of them. So this is Final Fantasy VI's Valley Girl Amanda. This is going to be something that's very new for a lot of people because it combines a bunch of stuff together. So this is an enchantment creature Saga Drake. A lot of words. A lot of words for us. It can attack. It is like any normal creature, but this top part right here. We're gonna let the duck eat blueberries really quick. It's hungry. It's just hungry. I just said you were hungry. What? Try to be nice to some ducks. Oh my god. Hi, Cosmo. How are you today? So, sagas are a kind of enchantment that do a different thing at each of your draw steps and after you play it. So, when they come into the battlefield, they'll have one counter on it, and you'll immediately get to do that effect. Then, whenever you add another counter on it, you get to do this effect. And after it hits this last number, it will do the effect, and then it'll get sacrificed. Immediately. So, this means you get this for 3 whole turns. Hi, Yukikaze. We're talking about Magic the Gathering today. So you'll get this for 3 whole turns. That means there's going to be quite a bit of risk-reward here with regards to sagas. And we do have some double-faced saga walkers, so keep that in mind. Correct. That is correct, Mercadia. Only the one that is labeled next to it. Here's the full art version. Or the borderless version, my apologies. I think this art looks sick, by the way. Also, when this creature has damage dealt to it, like let's say somebody lightning bolts it, or like does like a pings it for 1 damage, if it only, like if the damage doesn't exceed like its toughness and it doesn't die, it won't remove counters. It's not like a planeswalker in that regard. You can remove counters via things like proliferate, but, you know. All right. Here is Kefka. This is the main set version, because you can tell by FIN. This is not the commander deck version. He's double-sided. Whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, everybody discards, and then you draw a card for each type. 1 card's discarded this way. So, if you discard a land and your opponent discards a creature, that means you draw 2 cards. But if you both discard lands, that means you only get to draw 1. Honestly, Mercadia, goblins are still really strong in things like Modern. You just can't beat a good gobbo. Here's the back. And please note, you have to pay 8 mana to transform him, and you have to sacrifice something. So, this means that if you pay 8 mana, and somehow Kefka ends up being the only thing on your battlefield after you play it, you're not going to be able to pay the cost. Well, you'll pay the mana cost, and then you have to sacrifice him, and then you can't transform him. Congratulations. Because this, not a cost. Or the colon. It's after the colon. Aha. Nope. Anytime you deal damage to an opponent during your turn, so not their opponent's turn, you draw cards. Oh yeah, each opponent. You're so right. Look at you reading cards. You learn how to play Commander properly? Haven't played in a few years. The important thing is to play with people you like. I don't think there's a real way to, like, a real quote-unquote proper way to play Commander as long as you're playing by the rules of Magic. Every group will play differently. There's some groups that play hyper-competitively and some that only play kitchen table style. The important thing is that you and your group have basically a turn 0 discussion on what you want to do. There's a whole power level chart and all that, and it's really important so that way you can say, hey, I only have precons, and this is the highest power level I can play. Can y'all match that so that way we can have a fun game? Or are y'all playing like hyper competitive Commander and your decks are really strong? That kind of discussion is really important. Mm-hmm. Here is main set Terra. When she enters the battlefield, mill 5 cards. So milling is where you take cards from the top of your library and place them into your graveyard. And then you'll put 1 enchantment card milled this way into your hand. Her activated ability is called Trance. You can do it only as a sorcery. And she turns into a saga. Session, I was a judge for 10 years. So, the cool thing about Esper Terra, you remember how I was talking about earlier how sagas, you'll put so many counters on them and then you have to sacrifice them? So, in her case, as part of her final ability on that last turn there, she just flips herself back over. So you won't have to sacrifice her as part of resolving the saga. It's just a thing. So, non-legendary enchantment you control. This has to deal with summons. Okay, full disclosure, this is meant to deal with summons. They are all enchantment saga creatures. Some are legendary, some aren't. So, very important. Now, here's the alternate art Kefka. This is an Amano special. It's sick. Oh my god. It's sick as fuck. All these look great, you guys. There's also some Nomura art in here, too. And here's the Amano special for Terra. Also looks sick as fuck. Oh, good. And here's her trance. Here is the special showcase treatment for Kefka. Yep. Yeah, a lot of all the summons are enchantment saga creatures. There's also other enchantment creatures in standard right now too. So there's things like gods and stuff like that. They're legendary though, so they won't necessarily apply, but there are non-legendary enchantment creatures out there. This is the same exact card as earlier, just different art. I think the art looks really great. I like the front of the card a whole lot. The back one is take or leave. But the front looks is really great for me personally. I think the art is still really good, even if it's not my personal favorite. I think the artist put a lot of love and care into it and can tell. Here's the Cid for this one, for Final Fantasy VI. This is the borderless version. Once again, a borderless of the same one that we saw earlier. Oh, the back isn't borderless. Well, that's schnibbly. This is going to be the Sturge Foil version. We've already seen it. Here's a Celis, This is specific to the commander deck. This is a commander-specific card, and we can tell that because of FIC. This is only legal in commander sets, you guys. This is really important to pay attention to whenever you guys are looking at cards that you may want to play if you're thinking of picking up into standard. Double-check this code here, and double-check this set symbol. If it's a chocobo, it's a no in standard. Commander only. Chocobo, commander row. Remember it. She gets you an extra card no matter what. So if she enters the battlefield and you discard no cards, you're going to draw at least one card. If you want to wheel your hand away and discard all of them and then draw 7, go ahead. This is 8, I guess. Depends on how many cards you have in your hand. Celis wants to reanimate Schnoobblies, apparently. Kinda neat. This is the commander deck base commander. So if you were to go pre-order a commander deck right now at your local game store, please try not to get scalped or price gouged. Yeah, Tara needed a fish. She's not going to starve now. Hi, Wolf. Tara was hungry. How she needed a fish? What do you mean, what? Anyways, so Tara's deck is about reanimating stuff. So kind of keep that in mind if you want to pick up commander decks. Precons this time around look really fun. Everything looks really flavorful. From what I saw of the starter deck spoilers, I think everybody will have a good time with it. This is the borderless Celis that we saw earlier from Commander. This is a borderless Terra that we saw from Commander. This is most likely going to be available only in collector's boosters. I guess I can find out. Yeah, collector boosters. This is the showcase treatment of Celis. Commander only. Collector boosters only, chat. Look at the Terra, isn't she stinking cute? Oh my god. This is the Commander Terra, only available in collector's boosters. Chat, I do need to really preface this. Yes, she was hungry too. You're so right. The hype for this set is astronomical, okay? These cards that are this special treatment are going to be hilariously expensive. Do not go out of your way to get scammed and have to pay way too much money for cards, okay? These may be limited, the specific treatment, but the set itself is going to be printed into the fucking ground, okay? Like the main stuff, the main Schnoobblies, like your standard packs and stuff like that. You will be able to get standard treatments of a lot of these cards. It's only the collector stuff that you may have trouble with. But because this is a standard set, it's going to be around for 3 years. Or something crazy. Going to be, long story short, this is going to be printed a long time. Jumpstart is what's available for 3 years. This is just going to be available for a really long time. So chat, like, don't panic. You can get your cards. Maybe not the specific treatment, but you can get the other ones. And they all play the same at the end of the day. This is going to be the Surge Foil. And this will also be the Surge Foil. This is going to be a Surge Foil. Also a Surge Foil. Do they sell like posters? So, I have heard rumors that there are 28 playmats available from Ultra Pro at some point. This means that there's going to be a fuck ton of product out there that's just stuff you can hang on your wall. Ultra Pro will typically do some amount of wall scrolls depending on the set. Playmats, while not wall scrolls, are easily hangable on your wall via binder clips. Just clip those puppies at one side and hang them up. Or you can use like a magnet bar or something like that. I did that a lot in my apartment. It's also pretty good for like blocking sound a little bit and keeping stuff from bouncing around. But it's just those oversized mouse pads is what they are. Definitely worth looking into. Ultimate Guard is another company. They have been doing specific Magic the Gathering related art on their... Yeah. I'll explain what Adventure's doing in a second. But there's going to be a lot of product out there that does just have the art on it. There should be sleeves. There will be deck boxes. There will be playmats. You will have no end of stuff that you can get. Now, note about the playmats. They typically don't print those into the ground. There's typically only like 1 or 2 print runs of those playmats. So if you see one that you like and it is reasonably priced, same thing with the wall scrolls, pick it up. Okay? Reasonably priced. My game store sells them for $25 to $35. Okay? $25 to $35. That is typically the MSRP on them. People will mark them up because of the hype and collectors. So please, swipe like crazy. I mean, if you have the money to spend, like, I'm not going to tell you no. My day job right now is selling TCG products to people. Your game store wouldn't get me my cocktail. So we do have a few drinking games, those scores, so I don't know about that. I'm a convincing sales cap. Anyway, so let's talk about this. Adventures was a mechanic that was introduced in Eldraine, which was the set that was based around fairy tales. What this means is that you can play this specific card as just the land that it is, or you can pay the mana cost on it to get the sorcery, and it'll exile itself until you can play the card later from exile. This means that you can pay 6 mana to have your target opponent mill half their library, round it down, and then play your land per turn if you haven't played it. There are a couple other adventure lands that we'll take a look at. Town is also something apparently that we should care about according to various mechanics, or according to various articles that I've seen so far. It is a brand new type. We have never had this type before. Here is the full art land for Final Fantasy VI. The starter set does have a handful of these full art basic lands. I will be poor from basic lands. I set aside my tax return for this set, you guys. I've already pre-ordered what I want so far. This is the full art version of that land that we saw earlier. This is going to be a foil version of the basic land. All right. Here's a popular one. Final Fantasy VII. This is the Aerith that is by default included in the set, I'm pretty sure, right? Yep. Sure is. This should just be the default one. The plain ass Schnibbly here. Sorry for scrolling so much. She's like a baby of Johnny's pride mate, kinda. She doesn't want to deal damage. She just wants to gain a bunch of life. And then when she dies, she moves your counters around. Soul Sisters is back on the menu, boys. Let's do it. I hope there's more life gain mechanics. I'll slap a white mage's staff on her. Let's go. Here is main set Cloud. Cloud also really cares about equipments. He will be another must-have in equipment decks. He's cheap. Finds you an equipment out of your deck. And he has bonuses. This does just put it into your hand. It does not put it onto the battlefield, so you still have to play that equipment, but he still seems really solid. This is the main set Cloud that is standard legal. There is there's two other printings of Cloud here, you guys, so keep that in mind. This is the showcase treatment for Aerith. This is the same as the card up there, but fancier. Chat, she's gonna be worth so many monies, okay? She's full on waifu. Lots of monies. Let us continue. Edgy boy. Same as earlier, this is the same exact card, just different art. But man, does it look fucking sick. Onwards. Borderless, same card, just different treatment. Borderless, same card, different treatment. This will be the Surge foil. Also the Surge foil, only available in collector's boxes. They are just an alternative foil treatment that looks a little different. It looks a little wavy is what it looks like. Okay, this card. Secret Rendezvous, new card. 3 mana. You both draw 3 cards. Cool. Chat, there are 4 printings of this card. 1 for each of the date scenarios in the original Final Fantasy VII. So yes, there is in fact a Barrett one. So here we have the Yuffie. Here's Aerith. Oh yeah, and the flavor text is different on each of them. Bonus points is that Cloud is just like in the exact same position in all of them. Hey, Spy Kid, what you want to see fireworks with me for? I want this one. I like that they're just both sitting there awkwardly staring at one another. And here's the Tifa one. I think that this one is going to be the one that's included in Commander. This card is Commander legal only, just so you guys know. Actually, it should say here, right? Yeah. It'll say down here. Like, see, this is the one that's in the Commander deck. These ones are only available in collector's boosters and stuff. So it's an alternative version of another card to have to collect. All right, this guy. This guy fucking good. I think this guy's going to be really good. So, you attack, you sacrifice a creature, and you draw a card. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life, and it's the 4th time its ability is resolved this turn, transform Sephiroth. He is standard legal. He will be modern legal. This lose a life, gain a life effect is part of a kind of archetype we call aristocrats. He gives you an emblem with that ability. That means that you will have that until the end of time. The emblem goes in your command zone, which does still exist even in standard. It goes in your command zone, okay? That's where it exists technically. And the most technical of senses, that's where it exists. There's no way to get rid of it in standard. So you get this. And whenever you attack, you may sacrifice any number of other creatures. So that does mean ones that you own. That's not destroy, it's sacrifice. And you can draw that many cards. There are like 4 different versions of this card, chat. This one right here, officer. This one right here, officer. This is the special guest one for what I brought Nomura to do card art. Chat, this is the bottom of this art. This is the top of this art. This is all one art piece. Okay? So if this isn't a wall scroll, I'm going to fart everywhere, you guys. Like, if it's not a wall scroll that I could buy, I'm just going to be so upset. This is the showcase treatment. It looks sick as fuck. Borderless. Yeah, like I said, this man has 4 different printings. Not counting the foils. This will be the Surge foil. And now let's get to Tifa. Tifa has Trample and Landfall. So, play a land, her power doubles. So that's how hard she can hit. So if you play a land, she gets to become a 2/2. If you want to throw a whole bunch of equipment and stuff on her, Nibbleed. Traveling Chocobo, Bird. You may look at the top card of your library and cast bird spells from the top of your library as well as lands. Possible to buy all the available bundles and still miss cards. Absolutely. So the only things that are guaranteed are the things that have deck lists. You know the triple triad booster packs in the Golden Saucer and how you always think they're a sham because you never get the card that you want out of them? Collector boosters and regular play boosters are like that. Only things with deck lists are you guaranteed to get those cards that are in it. So if you only want a handful of specific cards, even if they're just commons, go buy singles. If you want a whole bunch of cards and are going to try trading for them, would collector's boxes have cards that are more rare and expensive than the deck lists? Yes. There are certain cards and like certain versions of cards and treatments that are only available in collector's boosters. Collector boxes, which have a handful of collector boosters in them, are currently pre-ordering, if you can find them, for $700 a box. It does not. It does not let you break the 1 land per turn rule. It just means that if there's a land on the top of your library and you haven't played a land per turn, you can play it. If it lets you play an additional land per turn, it will say you may play 1 additional land per turn. Did you just say 700? Yes. I said 700. My game store is selling them for around 400, and that's only if you let us cut the plastic off of the box so that way they cannot be resold online. This is not normal Magic the Gathering numbers. This is hype generated by a set with a very large IP and a very large collector base and a lot of people wanting to get in it. Because turns out a lot of these games that are getting art and cards and stuff don't have a lot of merchandise out there. And there's a lot of people who really like art and cards of their specific favorite Final Fantasy game, and they're going to clap those cheeks and get them all. The Collector's Decks bundle had 4 Commander decks for like $800 on eBay. Okay, that's way too cheap, and you're going to get scammed. If you buy all 4 collector's decks right now for $800, you're getting a steal. It's kind of crazy because we're selling just one of them for like $180. The other ones are $160 a piece. So the collector's decks are the same as the normal decks, but all foil. If you just want the cards, but don't care if they're foil, get the normal decks. But if you like foils, go for it. But like I said earlier, Magic's foil quality, the cards will curl in the packaging. It has to do with moisture content and how the paper reacts to moisture versus other things. So if you're going to buy the collector's decks and open them, make sure to toss some silica packets in with the decks to keep moisture down so they don't curl as much. Also, non-human environments. If you're in Florida, I'm sorry. It's just kind of like a fact of schniblies when it comes to manufacturing with how they do their foiling process. The paper will expand way more and the foil part won't, so they'll curl. You sending me a link. Bessie, that's $900. That's $900. Also, they're only 97.6% positive, not 100. I don't trust anybody that's not 99% positive on eBay. I'm
escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Here are legitimate prices from a retailer that I trust. They will go up in price if they're unopened. That's why we're cutting the paper off of our collector's bundles. So see, this, $260. Sold out. $359. Sold out. $349. Guess what? Sold out. $400. Sold out. Reputable dealers include high percentage positive rating retailers on TCG Player, as well as local game stores that you trust. Star City Games, maybe Troll and Toad if they still do cards. If you need a Wizard store, you can look up the Wizards Play Network. Also, there is a very, very slight chance on release, like pre-release weekend, and then the week after. If you go to your local big box retailer, such as Best Buy, Target, Walmart, any of those that have like a TCG section, Bessie, if you go camp out that aisle, there's a good chance that you will be able to pick up collectors, commander decks, and collector boosters for a reasonable, non-scalped price. Magic the Gathering typically does not have the problem that Pokemon has, where you see people wrestling over boxes in an aisle. I do not expect that to happen. Yeah. They have a separate contractor, or at least the Walmarts did in my case. Here's the special treatment for Tifa, by the way. Was a regular non-scalp price this crazy situation? MSRP is available for visibility on the Wizards website. You want as close to that price as possible. These, for the collector deck MSRP? No. That is not what that MSRP was. I think it was 400. No, 300. Here's the article. $150 is the MSRP for the Commander decks. Normal Commander decks, $69.99 MSRP. Try to get as close to this as possible. This is the individual MSRP price per pack. Not box, pack. 150 times 4. Don't ask me how math works. I played Final Fantasy 14 and Magic the Gathering. I don't know how math works. That eBay price, you will not be able to get that. I guarantee you, you will not be able to get that. They probably will not honor that. And if they do, I will be shocked. I don't trust random eBay sellers. I'm not going to advocate, be like, yeah, Session, that looks super trustworthy. You just spend $900 on that. Just put full band, go for it. No, I'm not. I'm going to tell you that looks sketchy. And they could be perfectly reputable. But if I wouldn't spend my money on it, like me personally, and I wouldn't put it forward, I'm not going to tell you that you should do it. That's how I personally, like, if I wouldn't personally do it and 100% be all in on it, I'm not going to tell anybody that comes into my chat to do it. I think that's the only fair way that I could ever see to approach that situation. Because I have had enough horror stories from TCG player sellers even canceling orders and then relisting them, saying they're out of stock because the price went way up. And eBay can be even sketchier for that, in my experience, because if it's not a 99.9% positive eBay seller rating, then I don't trust it. I've been burned too many times. Too many times I've been burned, chat. Too many times. Yeah, if I hadn't... Here's this link, by the way. If I had not set aside my tax return at the beginning of the year for this, I probably would not pick up as much as I did. I bought one each of the standard Commander decks. I bought the starter set, and I bought the bundle. And the bundle comes with 8 packs, or 6 packs? The bundle right here, it comes with a handful of packs, a special die, some basic lands, and a box, a little box. The box is unique to each set, too. Hi, Chuang. It is Booba. So this is her special treatment. This is the traveling chocobo that we saw earlier. There is one of these in every color. And then there's a special serialized gold version that there's only going to be 77 copies of in the world. Borderless. Surge foil. This is the quote-unquote neon dye. This is a special dye treatment that they did in Neon Cities of Kamigawa. The dye is much brighter than the normal ink that they put on it. There's one of these in each color. Blue one. A green one. A special black one that only comes in Japanese. And this is the serialized gold chocobo. And when I say, there will literally only be 77 of these. They only come in collector boosters. The black one is not the final form. It's just an alternative printing. These are all the same card. Yeah, I mean the color of the ink, not a cycle of them for like each mana type. Same card, just different colors, like, of the art. Kind of like the chocobos when we did chocobo raising. But, yeah, this whole art right here, only 77. It is gold. It's probably going to curl like a motherfucker, but if you get one of these, it's going to be worth $1 bajillion. I've been a Magic judge since 2012. This is the other Sid. There's one Sid per each game if you're coming in late. This is the one for Final Fantasy VII. This is the borderless of the cloud we saw earlier. I'm 31, Chuang. This is Oh, this is not the Sephiroth. This is not the Cloud that we saw earlier. This is the Cloud from the starter deck. The starter deck set. So, from this starter kit here. Sorry, I misread. That's on me, chat. So this right here. $25 comes with 260 card decks. How old do you think I am? To be fair, people do come into my shop and they're like, aren't you like 18? I'm like, no! I'm old! My knees hurt. My bones creak. This comes with 260 card decks. I bought one of these. It also comes with 4 each of these basic lands. So there's 4 mountains, 4 plains, and 4 there's a spoiler for this. Chat, there's a spoiler for this. It is a leak. Y'all go look at this, and you can see the rest of these. I think this is personally going to be a pretty sick deal, especially to grab some basics, and the cards in it look pretty cool, and they looked pretty even power level, so I think it'll be fun for me to play kitchen table with my husband with. Absolutely, Schwung. Absolutely. All right. So yeah, he still cares about equipments, and he's double colored. This is the Sephiroth from the starter set. These are included in the decks no matter what because they have a set deck list. They're not gotcha lottery packs like normal packs. He gives your opponent's creatures -2, -2. So this means that if your opponent has something that has power toughness 2/2, it's fucking dead. Dead. And then every time a creature an opponent controls dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on him. Both 4/4s too, by the way. This is the normal version that's included. Because this should be in collector boosters, yeah. This is the commander deck list for Cloud. This is the face commander for the deck and is included in every commander deck. Commander decks are singleton, which means there's 1 of each. He needed that. You're so right. Cloud's deck is an Equipment Matters deck. Every other one. This card is not standard legal because it is part of the commander set and has the chocobo symbol. So remember that. Same thing with this Tifa. This is a different Tifa. If its creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each opponent you attack this combat. So if you're playing a commander game with 4 people, including yourself, and you swing 1 creature at each person, then she's going to get +3/+3. Because she does include herself. Also, if you deal 7 damage to somebody with a creature that is power 7 or greater, or it's combat damage in general, actually. Like if she has trample, which means that it'll go over her opponent's creatures to hit them. Like if they say she's like a 4/4 and you give her trample and there's a 1/1, she'll run it over and put 3 over. So if she's really chunky and she has 7 power and you hit an opponent, then you get to hit everybody again. Pretty sick. Imagine she'd get +3 and then she'd get an additional +3. She'd be chunky, chat. She'd be chunky. This is the commander deck specific Sephiroth. We can tell by the chocobo here. Till end of turn, each modified creature you control has base power toughness 7/5. Equipment, auras, and counters are modifications. I don't know what a cell counter is. Oh, it's a counter. So it turns it into a modified creature. So you just make everything 7/5s. Sacrifice a modified creature, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tap. That's pretty sick, actually. Jump, flying. So jump is an ability, as a keyword ability on certain cards. I don't know if they'll give stuff jump. I think the Dragoon weapon gives stuff jump, but we're not there yet. We're on, that's a Final Fantasy 14 card, is the Dragoon weapon. This is in collector boosters. It's a borderless treatment. Same thing, borderless treatment, collector boosters. Borderless treatment, collector boosters. Oh, that's right. There is a blue card that does that. This is the showcase treatment for the commander card. This is only available in collector boosters. Same thing with this. Collector boosters. Collector boosters. Collector boosters. Collector boosters. Collector boosters. This is a reprint of an older card using Tetsuya Nomura card art. So, the original printing of this card is called Atraxa Grand Unifier. And for all intents and purposes, this is an Atraxa Grand Unifier. It's just reprinted to look like Sephiroth. So this is like the Dragon of Mount Gulg in earlier. This is the concept art reprint of Yuriko the Tiger Shadow, but it's Yuffie. So any format that Yuriko's legal in, Yuffie would be legal in. Because for all intents and purposes, this is a Yuriko the Tiger Shadow, just different art. This is the full art basic land for Final Fantasy VII. It is literally just 7th Heaven, chat. Literally just 7th Heaven. I love it. This is the Final Fantasy VIII set. So as chat, as you guys know, Final Fantasy VIII doesn't tend to get a lot of love. In fact, it gets the opposite of that. Literal opposite. We got a lot of cards for Final Fantasy VIII today, including an Angelo token specific to Renoa's card that we'll see in a second. So this is Zell. Zell is probably going to be legacy playable. You can play an additional land on each of your turns, so he'll probably be good in like chocobos, what birds matter, because you can play with the lands uncovered on top of your lit deck or whatever. And he has the additional land on each of your turns thing. So if he's out on the battlefield, that means you can, instead of playing 1 land per turn, you can play 2. He also gets +1/+0 for each land you control, which means if you cast him the normal... Thank you, he needed that fish. He was hungry. I thought he was more of a glizzy guy, but you know, if he wants the fish, he can have it. He... Oh my god, wait, he'll play really well with the adventure lands, because you can bounce him back to your hand and then play him again. Hold the phone, hold the fucking phone. Anyways, if you play him the default way, he will be a 3/3. Because he costs 3 mana, so you have to have 3 lands, at least. And then, at the end of your turn, you'll bounce 1 back to your hand. You remember that adventure land that we had earlier? Hey, 8 mana to the middle after library. Remember that? I remember that. You could play the adventure, play the land, pick the land back up. Scary. Borderless. Only collector boosters. Jumbo Cactar. When he attacks, he gets +999 +9/+0 until end of turn. He is standard legal. Cannot wait to find ways to abuse this man. What the fuck? You can see Renoa and Irvine in the art too. I think it's really cool. He is an alternate art as well. I'm just saying, if we get a fling, be pretty sick. Add trample? Yeah, exactly. No, we give him... we give him the Dragoon Spear. Chat. Chat. I know what I want to do at my pre-release. You do, in fact, have to only 20 health when you start. Oh, but it gets better, Mercadia. It gets better. 1,000 Gale Bolts, yeah. Oh, here's the special art. Looks sick. Here's Renoa. When Renoa enters the battlefield, you'll get a legendary 1/1 green-white dog creature token. And the token that it makes is actually literally just Angelo. Like, it says Angelo on it, and it's just the dog. Whenever Renoa attacks, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature you control. He wants dudes. Here's Squall. His standard legal version is white-black. Whenever creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until end of turn. This means that when it does in combat, it will hit really fast, and then at the normal speed that everybody else does. It gets to hit twice. So if you put just a regular dude in front of it that does not have first strike or double strike, which means it doesn't hit fast, it will die on the first hit, and then the rest of the hit will go through. Well, it'll die before the rest of the thing. And if it has First Strike, Death Touch, Trample, or Double Strike, Death Touch, Trample, take a lot of schnibblies. Creature is blocked until end of turn. They just take all their rage out of the body. But it will kill it beforehand. Squall deals combat damage to player. Return target permanent card with mana value 3 less from your graveyard to the battlefield. He likes reanimating stuff too. Squall's entire fan base? Absolutely. Here's what you've been waiting for. Ultimecia Time Sorceress. When she enters the battlefield or attacks, Surveil 2. She costs 5 mana. So you can look at the top 2 cards of your library and then put them all in your graveyard or leave on top of your library. However, her cost to transform is really high. That's because of her effect on the back. She gives you an extra turn. She looks hot. I think I can fix her. Somebody for everybody, right? Here's Squall's special treatment. He actually looks really good. He looks really good. Here is our Sid. Here is the borderless Renoa, borderless Squall, borderless Ultimecia, Surge Foil Squall, and here's our land. Chat, is this the orphanage? Or what is this? This is the orphanage, right? I couldn't figure it out earlier today. It is. Okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't figure it out earlier today, but that's what I thought it was. Actually, I didn't remember the lighthouse and stuff the other day. Alright, Final Fantasy IX. This is what everybody's been waiting for. Stiltskin has been out for a while. He was one of the ones that was initially shown whenever we got revealed initially for the Final Fantasy set. Who's been out for a while? Target opponent gains control of another target permanent you control if they do draw a card. This is good for giving people things that say you lose the game. Like Demonic Pact. We're on 9 now, Shuang. We have a handful more to go. Tonight ended up being a Magic the Gathering stream. I'm really sorry. I kind of got distracted talking about all of them. I was actually going to make a PowerPoint. Yeah, I started with 1, and there's still 2 cards that aren't on the website. So we're missing a couple. I'll have to go find them on Twitter. Here's the alternate art for Stiltskin. He looks so cute. Chad, I really want this tree, but it's so stinking. God. Borderless. Okay, so remember earlier I was talking about the magic stuff? This is one of the Vivi cards. So this costs 1 red mana. If you pay an additional one of these costs, it does a different effect. So if you pay 3 mana, you can play Fire and deal 2 damage to each creature on the battlefield, including yours. Fire will cost 6 because it's 1 red and 5, but if you only pay the 1, it deals 1 damage to each creature. Hi, Trey! That was us last night. There were ghosts. This is also an instant. Can you pay 8? No. It says choose 1. You can pay 6, you can pay 3, or you can pay 1. Yeah. This is the Dawn. He is a reprint of Ragavan. Nimble Pilferer. The Monkey Pirate. So this is the original. I just thought I should show you guys this one so that way you guys could really understand that this is the perfect this is the perfect like in-between card for him. Like so he's, for all intents and purposes, he is a Ragavan Nimble Pilferer, but he is this Shazan, and it's probably the best one that you could have. Alright, multicolor cards. Koja. Oh no, he's hot! Beginning of your end step, create a tap 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you do a con creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. If you control 4 or more wizards, transform Kuja. I think that 3 color spells matter is going to be a thing because it all seems kind of cheap. Like this is 4 mana, the Vivi is 2 mana, and then the spells are modal, so you can cast them for whatever. And this guy's pretty sick. If you control 4 more wizards, transform Kuja, and he turns into this. If a wizard you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead. That's why I think it's going to be kind of sick. Oh, his art looks cool as fuck. Here's Vivi. Vivi's 3 mana. My bad. 4/0. Add X mana in any combination of blue and or red where X is Vivi's power, so that's this number. Activate only during your turn and once during each turn. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Vivi Ornithor, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So this includes equipment. It includes some adventures. It includes that fire spell we saw earlier that only costs 1 mana. See where I'm going with this? I think it's going to be a really cool archetype to explore, depending on what else gets, like, spoiled and shown to us about the set. Also, look how fucking cute he is. Look at how cute he is. Oh my god. Here's Kuza's alt art. It is in a similar position as the Kafka and Sephiroth alt art, where I think it's neat. But I don't really like the back. I think the front side, and for me personally, looks way cooler than the back. I think the artist did a really good job still. I just don't think it's for me personally. It's not weeb enough. Yeah, Mercated. Vivi's not tapping. It's a no-cost ability that you activate once per turn. No tap. Just 0. He just seems really strong. Like, of course he's a mythic, but, like, seems strong, right? Like, I'm not crazy. Here's our Sid. Borderless, you see the little dudes in the background. I didn't point them out earlier. Borderless for Vivi. Surge Foil. Here's our forest. This is our basic land forest. This is the place where we crash land the airship in the very beginning of the game. I don't know why this is also here. Because this is the FF9 land, and I didn't click 3 as well. Okay. Rosa, are you here? Rosa, I'm going to look over the Final Fantasy X cards now. We're starting out with Ice Magic, featuring one hot woman. We love hot women. So this is the same thing as the Fire Magic, except it's going to cost a blue and a 1. And it's also tiered. As variety of effects here, we have return target creature to its owner's hand, put it on top or bottom, or shuffle it into their library. Blue really likes these kind of like bounce effects to tuck stuff away. They're not really about killing things directly. They want to bounce stuff. So this is a very blue effect, and it's very good. Enchantment Creature Saga Elemental. So remember how we were talking about earlier how there were going to be some that weren't legendary creatures that were also summons? Here's one. It is a Saga. It will be available for 2 turns, and then it'll die. So you get to play it, you get to attack with it, and go away. You get to stun stuff, so you get to draw at least like 1 card. This will have the stun counter on it from the turn before. 2 stun counters. Should be at least 2. Either way, I think this will be okay. And you'll probably want to play stuff like this with that Terra we saw earlier because it's not legendary and it's an enchantment creature and they'll let you able to get stuff back. Here's the alternate art treatment. Looks fucking sick. Look, it's Dead Rugby Dad Skywhale. Costs 7 mana. You exile a permanent card from your graveyard at random and then create a tap token that's a copy of that card. If it's a land, you repeat the process. So this just means that you keep getting your lands back if you're lucky. Here's Yuna. During your turn, Yuna and enchantment creatures you control, such as summons, they have Trample, Lifelink, and Ward 2. So Trample's that thing that goes over people if the power, like if you kill it before you have leftover damage from your power. That's what that is. Lifelink means any damage you deal gains you that much life, so getting that 20 life up. And Ward 2 means that you have to pay 2 mana when you cast a spell that targets the creature, or it gets countered. At the beginning of your end step, return up to 1 target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. And if a permanent with finality counter on it will be put into a graveyard from the battlefield, exile it instead. So the summoners are about getting some stuff back from your graveyard. Seems weird that this is in white-green. guess it's a very black effect, but I actually also kind of get it. Alternate art treatment. This is the showcase treatment. Explain ward again. So it has ward 2, which means that if the permanent that has ward on it would become the target of a spell or ability, the person that controls that spell or ability must pay the ward cost, or that spell or ability is canceled. Think of it as hexproof, but with a step to deactivate it. In this case, you would pay an additional 2 mana to let your spell go through. Specifically with targets. No, not equipment. Only opponents. So it is like hexproof. It's not like Shroud, because I think Shroud was around when you played. Specifically hexproof. Here's our Sid. Borderless, Surge Foil. I was, not anymore. I had some weird experiences in Cincinnati, and I just really didn't, I didn't want to deal with it after that. Like, after I had to call somebody's regional coordinator on them and then nothing happened with regards to that person, it just made me upset. Like, I was just like, I'm done. I'm done. I just can't do the person. Yeah, it's Ohio, is it? And the person in question wasn't even from Ohio. They're from Michigan. I hate that guy. I hate that guy. I 0 out of 10 experience. That's a discussion for another day, though. When I'm jaded and I've drunk too much, I'll be like, I fucking hate Magic the Gathering. Judging was awful. Judges do a lot of hard work. You know. So this is the commander version. This is the guy. Ginger's not even here. Ginger wouldn't even know he fired shots at him unless she'll told him. Ginger's smelly. Anyways, this is the commander version. This is the face commander. You get one of these in the deck no matter what. This one. Oh. This is Yuna. The commander Yuna. She likes counters. The whole deck sub-theme for the Final Fantasy X commander deck is counters. Borderless treatment. Collectors only. Borderless treatment, collectors only. Collector boosters only. It's a shame because this art's really cool. Same thing with fucking this one. Look at it. It's so stinking cute. What the hell? Collectors boosters only. Surge foil, surge foil, surge foil, surge foil. Baja Blast. Not legendary. If you can find a way to cheat 2 of these out, you got it. First 2 turns, destroy target permanent. Third turn, draw 2 cards. Fourth turn, this creature deals damage equal to the total mana value of permanents you control to each opponent. That is this. That is this number. Okay? Mana value is what was cost converted mana cost, but converted mana cost didn't make sense to a lot of people, so they've changed it over. The mana value. It makes sense. You will still hear people say CMC or converted mana cost if they've played for forever. It's a very hard habit to break. It's just something that goes well with CMC. But it is mana value now. Use mana value if you're going to talk about stuff like that so it's not confusing to people. I will literally say CMC of the spell and I'll be like, oh, mana value. Amount of value. Sorry, mana value. So this guy has 9. Please note he does say other. Other. And so you don't get to do 9. You get to do whatever else you have on your side. Lands have a mana value of 0. They don't have a mana cost. Here it is. Alternate art. Looks fucking sick. Here is Xanarkand. It likes lands. You get to create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each land you control. Sick. Mercadian. I think it's 5. But it could be 0. If you look up in the comprehensive rules for the copy section, It will tell you everything because I failed my L2 test because of fucking copies. Layers. Copies of things take the card and photocopy it, basically. So anything that's printed on the card is part of a copy. So its mana value would technically be 5, but because it's open, I don't know. My gut says 5. But I could be wrong, because like I said, I did fail my L2 test like 5 times because of it. Copies. I hate copies so much, chat. You guys don't understand. I just ask my friends that are L2s and L3s whenever I have those come up. sometimes if I'm being a good judge and a good player is knowing when it's when you're there for your head, you're just like, let's ask someone who's more important than me. Which does bring up the point that if you're playing a competitive Magic event, there's literally nothing stopping you from appealing every single judge call, no matter what, because it is your right afforded to you as a player. I know this because it got me in trouble a whole bunch of times. They're like, well, you should have done the judge call better. I'm like, I could not have done this judge call better. The judge shadowing my judge call said, you handled that perfectly. Everyone understood. But they still appealed it. Because there is no downside to appealing to your head judge. But whatever the head judge says is final. But if it's not in your favor and you don't like it, you can just appeal. It's stinky, it's smelly, and I hate it, and I could not have done that judge call better. But, like, I can't even be mad at the guy because that's what it is. It had to do with segmented loops. So, like, if somebody segmented infinite loops. So, like, one guy would do an infinite amount of thing, and the other guy would be like, I want to do an infinite amount of this thing, too. Whoever starts looping first is a loser, by the way, because you eventually have to break it. And the way in the rules to break it is that the person who went off first has to pick first, and the person who went off second has to pick second. It does not work well. They didn't like the person that started the loop did not like it. Your head hurts? Yeah, mine too. I read the tournament rules and I looked at the guy and I was like, okay, you started this infinite loop, right? And he's like, yeah. Because he made an infinite amount of tokens is what it was. And I'm like, okay, tell me a number of how many tokens you want to make, sir. And he's like, this many. And I looked at the other guy and I was like, okay, how many tokens do you want to make? How fat are your dudes? And they both laughed and they're like, okay, we get it. I was like, this guy did like, I did a googillion. And the other guy's like, I did a googillion plus 1. And the guy that did the googillion said, I would like to appeal to the head judge. Because he didn't like that he fucked up. So this is the basic land. It's the Besaid Beach. Pretty sick. This is the alternate art of Xanarkand. It looks really sick. Really like that alternate art. This is a surge foil. Okay, so the thing that I've been like most shocked about is there's actually a lot of Final Fantasy XI stuff, and I wasn't sure that we'd get a lot of Final Fantasy XI stuff. Case in point, there's a Dragoon's Wyvern. This is not a thing that I expected to exist in this Final Fantasy set, you guys. I expected 11 to get a couple of like big name cards and then move on, but this is like, so in Final Fantasy 11, if you played Dragoon, you had a pet. You had a pet. No, I'm actually pretty fucking stoked. It's pretty sick, you guys. It's sick as fuck. You had a pet, though, okay? And that's what this is. That's what this little guy is. And they even talk about it here. This is the quest. And that's the adventurer trying to become a Dragoon. This, adorable. 10 out of 10 flavor. So flavorful. We have Final Fantasy XI's Fenrir. Not legendary. Please note. Very important here. Not legendary. There are legendary enchantment saga creatures. Because we've seen some. But this one's not legendary. Ramp. Creature. Draw a card. 3 mana, in green, card draw. Not awful. Here's the alternate art. Looks sick as fuck. We love this. This is the guy that I was... Chat, you guys know him from Final Fantasy XIV, I'm sure. You've heard about him. He was originally a notorious monster in Final Fantasy XI. I did not expect to see this guy at any point in this set. I did not think that he would exist in this set. Can't be countered. He has flying. He's an 8/8. And he gives you, the player, protection from your opponents. Yes, this is the guy in Baldesian's Arsenal. Not, okay, you, the player, have protection. He does not. You can Doomblade this fucking guy. But you can't be fireballed. Does that make sense? He can be fireballed. You, the player, cannot, because he says you have protection, not Absolute Virtue has protection. Very important distinction here. It basically reads like a you can't lose the game kind of deal, because they can't deal damage to you. You can't be targeted by anything that's controlled by your opponents, okay? You, the player, not him. So if you can protect him, you're pretty good for a little bit. There is a lot of stuff. Anyways, here's Shantoto. Shantoto, Tactician Magician. I think it is fucking sick that her card name rhymes. Her card name rhymes. She is also a part of the Spells Matter archetype. Plus X plus 0 until end of turn, with X is the amount of mana cast to spend that tail spell. If X is 4 or more, draw a card. So that fire spell earlier. Put X-proof on him? Exactly, Flama, exactly. We protect that man. We put him in the protective bubble, and we're Gucci. Give that man ward. Was he an enchantment creature? No, he's an avatar warrior. Give that man ward. Let's go. Give him anything. Give him the hat of protection. Something. Give him a schnibbly. I don't know. This can trigger multiple times a turn. She's going to be important in Spells Matter. She is an uncommon. She's only 3 mana. I could see her be existing in that archetype pretty well, because she's also a wizard and she builds off Kuja. So, she draws you cards too. Here is the Sid. Shirtless as ever. Extra buff. Just like we like him. Collector boosters only. Collector boosters only. Here's the land. I didn't think they'd give me a land, but they gave me a land. Oh my god. Cards that I'm expecting to see from Final Fantasy XI that we have not been shown yet. I expect to see a Preesh, and I expect to see a Kumlanaut. And that's about it. 11 is one of the things that I thought was pretty unpopular in terms of games. But honestly, thinking about it, 11 was really popular in Japan, so maybe it's going to get a lot more than I thought. Starting off Final Fantasy XII with a reprint. The Imperial Cities of Arcades is a Wall of Omens. For all intents and purposes, in whatever format you play, if it is a Wall of Omens is legal in it, you can play the Wall of Omens. This is not standard legal. It will be legal in your limited. Okay? Throwing that out there. My disclaimer for these reprints. This is 6 foot. I want it. Love it. Okay. Multicolor. Look, it's our favorite power couple. They care about vehicles. I have not seen any vehicles spoiled yet. I do not know how many vehicles there will be in this set. Vehicles are also artifacts. That's an important distinction here. Crewing is something that pops up in a set called Kaladesh. You have to tap the creatures to crew the vehicles, and then the enchantments can, the artifact vehicles can attack. Whenever a vehicle crewed by Volthair and Fran this turn attacks, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, you may pay 3 mana. If you do, after this phase, there is an additional combat phase. I have a feeling that there's going to be airships. I think that there will be airships. I'm also of the opinion that there will be an airship printed, and it will be the Sky Sovereign on the bonus sheet. where it's like the reprints like of those Wall of Omens. I think that there's going to be a special airship that's printed, and it's going to be the Sky. The giant Roomba in the sky to transport people. That. I think that that's going to exist. The Sky Schnibbly, thank you. Here is their alternate art. God, that's hot as fuck, you guys. Oh, that's so good. We love this. We want more of this. This. Not just that, but all of this. I definitely didn't mean to accidentally circle her chest. Here is the other alternate art. I love them, Your Honor. Here is our crazy ass Sid for this one. Who would win a Sid Battle Royale? Well, considering they all have the same power toughness, it's going to be whoever goes last. Whoever goes last. Collector booster only, collector booster only. Here's our planes. Literally a planes. Okay, there is a spicy, flavorful mechanic coming back once called Meld. This mechanic was used in one of the Innistrad sets to merge together two creatures into a giant Eldritch Abomination. This is the only card that will have Meld in the entire set. They have said so in the design schnibblies. It's just what it is. You have to have both cards. So we're going to flip it over to look at the back. It melds into Ragnarok. And Ragnarok has Vigilance, Menace, Trample, Reach, Haste. And when Ragnarok dies, destroy target permanent and return target non-legendary permanent from your graveyard to the battlefield. So that means land, creature, enchantment, artifact. No instants or sorceries. Here is Fang's alternate art. It also has the alternate art here. Don't forget. Borderless Surge Foil. Taz's Chocobo also cares about lands. Lands will probably be a sub-theme, but not prominent. I don't think it'll be big enough to make a huge deal about it, but I think it's going to be a big enough sub-theme that we should make note. Here is Vanille's version, which, as you'll notice, she's in the front, Fang's in the back, and on the other card, Fang was in the front, and Vanille was in the back, and they're fighting stuff. So, mill 2 cards, return permanent from your graveyard to your hand at the beginning of your first main phase. If you own both, and if you're going to control Fang and Vanille, you can pay 5, and then you can flip them into this, which is really flavorful if you have played the game. Okay. Here's her alt art. Terrifying. I love it. Biblically accurate Ragnarok. Collector booster, collector booster. There's a search foils. Here is lightning. First strike, trample, and lifelink. She loves keywords. She was made to be in Boros, which is this color combination. Whenever lightning does combat damage to a player until your next turn, if a source would deal damage to that player or a permanent that player controls, it deals double that damage instead. That's fucking sick and flavorful. Final Fantasy 13 had a stagger mechanic, which made your enemy, once you filled the gauge up, take like a bajillion extra damage. She needed that fish. Very, very flavorful card. I love it. Here is her alt art. I think that this one is probably one of my favorites. I think it's a very good alt art. Here is her showcase treatment. Fucking sick. Here is our hot Sid. Collector booster, collector booster. Here's our island. This is our land. This is underneath the platform in Cocoon when we first escape. I think we will definitely see some super bosses because we already got things. That is not how combat resolution works, Mercadia. All creatures will deal damage at the same time. right, everybody, drum roll, please. It is the moment you've been waiting for. This is what everybody is familiar with. It is time for critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV with free trial, including Stormblood and award-winning Heavensward, with no limit on playtime up to level 70. So, here's what I was talking about earlier. Here's the Dragoon Lance. The same as the White Mage thing and the Black Mage, the White Mage Cane and the Black Mage Rod, where it does come in with a creature attached to it. So when it comes in by default, it's a 2-mana. It's a 2-mana 2/1. That is a knight, and on your turn it has jump, which is flying. It's the Gale Bulk. Here's Y'shtola. Y'shtola is an adjustment on another creature card called Displacer Kitten, which just had this first part, and then she does it again. So, at the beginning of your advanced step, you can exile a creature, and then you immediately return it to the battlefield under your control. This will remove equipment and things from it, so don't exile anything that you don't want. However, you can exile sagas and reset them, I'm pretty sure. Then if it's the first step of the turn, there's additional end step at the end of the turn. So this could be used to re-trigger sagas if I remember how sagas work correctly. Kind of. She was a conjurer-ish. Our Realm Reborn classes were complicated. Here's her alt art. This is actually done by the concept artist, like the lead concept artist for Final Fantasy XIV. You'll notice that this is still Shadowbringer's Y'shtola, but she does keep her type. The commander deck Y'shtola, I believe, is a Cat Warlock. This is a reprint of a Magic the Gathering card that already exists. You'll hear it referred to as Bob, but this is their Confidant. It was one of the big tournament cards where if somebody won the tournament, they would get turned into a card. And the guy's name was Bob, so we called him Bob. Yeah. I think that this guy is technically really strong because he does give you an extra card each turn. When you play him, you want to kind of play cards low to the ground. You probably don't want to play anything over a mana cost of 4 because you will just kill yourself by playing Bob if you don't have a way to get rid of him. Oh, Dan. We got Dan. And he's not legendary either, which I thought was weird. Destroy target creature an opponent controls. This creature gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, it loses the game. In Hall of Sorrows, draw 2 cards, your player loses 2 life. Seems pretty solid. I think it'll be good with reanimating all the different things. Hey, it's our best friend! When Xenos Galvus enters the battlefield, choose a creature an opponent controls to win a turn. Creatures other than Xenos gain chosen creature gain -2/-2, and when the chosen creature leaves the battlefield, transform Xenos. Flip it. When he transforms, you'll choose an opponent. And when the chosen player loses the game, you win the game. Mono black. Their identity is black. This guy will be hilarious to play in Commander. I do think it's a little weird that this particular effect is on a standard card because standard's typically 1v1. So I wonder what they're trying to cook with this. But, yeah. I think this will be fun in Commander to throw around. Here's Zodiark. Zodiark was spoiled today. When Zodiark enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices half the non-god creatures they control of their choice, rounded down. And whenever a player sacrifices another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Zodiark. That's a lot. This is the alt art treatment of Bob. The alt art treatment of Zodiark. Alt art treatment of Odin. Showcase treatment of Xenos with the back. Full art, collector boosters only, collector boosters only. This is be a surge foil. This is a new card, a Realm Reborn. This is just a plain enchantment, so it's not attached to anything. And it says other permanents you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color for 6 mana. I think if you're playing 5 color, this will help you. I think it's going to be a little spicy. It's really expensive. probably going to only really be playing Commander, if I'm being entirely honest. Summoner's Grimoire. You become a shaman in addition to your other types whenever it's equipped. Job select means that you have it comes into the battlefield attached to a hero token. Remember, because it's a rare, it will not have that reminder text. This is a very important thing to make note of. Whenever this creature attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. If that card is an enchantment card, it enters tapped and attacking. So if this is specifically that enchantment creature thing, this is talking about summoning stuff, which I think is cool. Also, isn't this an aura? This is an aura. But why does she have... Hold on. Oh, that's her side face scales. Sick. Sick. You see her tail and stuff, and this looks like she's in Thanalin. No, this isn't Garuda. That's Garuda's arena. I wonder if Garuda's going to be Final Fantasy XIV Garuda. It's just how it'd be. It's just like any other spell. Here's the alternate art of the Realm Reborn card, which I think looks awesome. Here's our favorite gay Uncle Sid. I don't know where Nero is. This is Emmett Selk. He was spoiled already, and he does have a transform flip. We've seen this already in the spoilers, so if you'd like to see that, feel free to click the link up above. I've been doing this a really long time. I'm so sorry, Arthur and Cosno. I know I wanted to play Baldur's Gate, and I got distracted doing all this. I'm almost done. Here is his alternate art treatment that they showed today. Borderless. This is collector booster stuff. This is the commander version of Graha Tia. He is included in the commander deck. That is spells and scions. So if you want the Final Fantasy XIV stuff, make sure to pre-order the scions and spells deck. It will be filled to the brim with Final Fantasy XIV related cards. This is Justola, the commander deck version. She is particularly the Shadowbringers edition Justola, so she is a cat warlock. She cares about spells. She is spells matter. This is the commander deck version of Emmett Selk. This is different than the other one. He likes reanimating stuff. And whenever one or more opponents lose life, you can cast a spell or an instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard, and then you can exile it. You can only do it once per turn. This little guy, chat. Here's this Hildebrand. Hildebrand's really flavorful. This is also commander only. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1. That does include the heroes that come in with the equipments. He has an adventure. So, you know, like the Endless Adventures of Hildebrand, the Misadventures of Hildebrand, even more Misadventures of Hildebrand, Detective Adventures of Hildebrand. All his quest line is called Adventures. So, you can literally cast his adventure, cast him from exile, from his adventure, from where he adventured him. And then when he dies, you can cast him from the graveyard as an adventure. So he comes back. Also, Dashu's in the back throwing a bomb at him. And I thought that was a really good touch. This is collector booster only. 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 This is Graha Tia's commander version alt art. This is Justola's waifu collector version alt art. Showcase treatment. Surge foil. Surge foil. Surge foil. Surge foil. This is the buy a box promo if you buy a box of play boosters. It's fine. This is going to be included in the commander deck. This particular printing is going to just be this. So... this is the land that I was talking about the other day, honey, that I wasn't completely sure that was Final Fantasy XIV because I couldn't actually read it, but it actually was. So that's Silver Tear Lake. Is this swamp. And it comes in Surge Foil. All the lands come in Surge Foil. Okay. 2 more games. Final Fantasy XV. We've seen side quests Catch a Fish. You can look at the top card of your library. You can, if it's an artifact or creature, you can view it and put it in your hand. And if you put a card into your hand, you create a food token and transform the enchantment. You go camping. You literally go camping. You go camping, you guys. Is that not just cute as heck? Free and tap, sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Seems pretty sick. This guy's new. He was spoiled today. Demons you control have menace, lifelink, and haste. Beginning of combat on your turn, exile the one target creature card from a graveyard. If you exile a card this way, create a token that's a copy of that card except it's a 5/5 black demon. So this means that you get the card back, but it changes its power and toughness to 5. It has all its other effects, except its power and toughness. I swear to God, I will time out my own husband. Don't even. Don't schnibbly with me. More bowl. Bad breath. When this creature enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card, loses 2 life, exiles the top 3 cards of their library. And you can discard them and pay 2 for it to search for a swamp. Here's his alt art. He looks so much better in this alt art than he ever did in game chat. This one's fine. This one's better. I like this. This is good, but I like this. I think they're all really good, but I just like some of the other ones better. When Gladiolus enters the battlefield, search your library for a land card, put it in the battlefield, tap, and then shuffle. Red-green lands once again. Like I said, it was going to make a surface as like a sub-theme. I don't think it's going to be a primary theme like the equipment matters or the bird matters sub-theme. I think it's going to be like bird matters instead of like an actual thing. I think birds matter and lands matter are going to kind of like be a thing together. Here is Noctis. You may cast artifact spells from your graveyard by paying 3 life in addition to paying their cost. If you cast a spell this way, that artifact enters with a finality counter on it. Finality counters are the thing that where if it went to the graveyard with the finality counter on it, it is exiled instead of in your graveyard. Here's his alt art. Look at him. He's cute. He's just a little guy. Here's this game Sid. Collector booster, collector booster, collector booster. Fooge. It's some good ass looking food. Where's the cup? There's the cup noodle. There's the cup noodle, chat. There's the fucking cup noodle. Sorry. And here's the planes. I actually really like this planes. I think it was a good choice. And there's a lot of planes in Magic that don't look like planes. Why is this here? Okay. Here's the last one. Final Fantasy 16. So these ones are really cool. They're transformable. So all the dominants that they've shown transform. And then they transform back. Tap all your lands your opponents control, exile Shiva, and then turn to the battlefield face up. Is that not fucking sick? Look at her alt art. It's so good. It's so good. Look at her alt art. It's so good. Oh my god. She's hot. She's so cool. She's hot. Arthur Cosno, are y'all free tomorrow? Yeah. Well, I think we may end up having to do Baldur's Gate tomorrow because it's 1 o'clock already, but I'm almost done with it, so we can still play for a little bit. But I feel bad that I took up all the time, so we'll play Baldur's Gate again tomorrow too, as long as y'all are both available. Here's Clive. He's just a little guy, Your Honor. Clive is the only card that has devotion, which is the red. You want to count the red mana symbol and permanents you control. Specifically these, not these. If you couldn't figure out that Clive was a Fritz dominant from the promo materials, I'm sorry. That's all I have to say. Anyways, He fights, which means that they deal combat damage equal to each other. I don't know. We'll find out in a minute because there's a land for this one too. He has just 4 red mana. That's his last 2 things, so he'll probably be good for spells matter, if I'm being entirely honest. Here's his alt art. Doesn't it look fucking sick? Look at that. Look at that. It looks so cool. It looks so cool, Chad. It looks so cool. The framing on this is bad. The framing on this is bad. He's literally not... I can barely see him. Flavor text is different on these. Here's the alt art for the showcase. This is a little better. This is these borderless search foils. Hot Sid alert, hot Sid alert, hot Sid alert. Bor. And then here's our wastes. So this is the land that produces colorless mana, specifically. And now, give me a moment. Here are the last 2 cards that aren't on the spoiler list. So this is another one of those town lands that I was telling y'all about. These, okay, you say no Joshua, but remember, I showed y'all what, like 50 cards today? This isn't the whole set. This isn't even half the set. Okay? There are a lot more cards. So we have that town, and then we have the town greeter. When this creature enters, mill 4 cards, you may put a land among them into your hand. If you put a town card into your hand this way, you gain 2 life. I think it's kind of cool. You can see the different jobs in the thing. With King Steve in the castle, exactly. And then here's the starting town. Another Final Fantasy 1 card. Like I said earlier, it wasn't in the list, so I wanted to go out of the way to show it to you guys. Oh, no, I don't remember. Cornelia? It's Cornelia. It's right here. Right here. Corn on the cob. So, there's an article here if you guys would like to read it from the Final Fantasy team. June 13th is the full release date. The week before that will be pre-releases. Oh. All right. That's that. That's all the Magic the Gathering cards I have today. I'm sorry for your wallet session. Sorry for your wallet. Now, if you are a new Magic the Gathering player, Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow, we can play for like 45 minutes, but I don't think we'll get anything done, but we will play tomorrow. I'm really sorry. I didn't think it'd take me this long to go through it. I was expecting 45 minutes. I didn't realize how many cards they had spoiled today, because some of these I didn't even get to look at. So, that's on me. That's my bad. We Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow. We have, what, 45 minutes left of stream time? I hate copies. We can go find out about the copies, actually. When copying an object 7, so 6.2 from the comprehensive rule guide from Magic the Gathering. Copyable values are the values derived from the text printed on the object, the text being name, mana cost, color indicator, card type, subtype, supertype, rules text, power, toughness, and or loyalty as modified by the other copy effects, by its face down status, and by as enter the battlefield and as is turned up abilities that set power and toughness and may also set additional characteristics. Other effects, including type changing and text change effects, status, and counters, are not copied. Well, we have 45 minutes. What would y'all like to do? Otherwise, I'll keep talking about Magic the Gathering, and I think that's like bad for us. I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty excited for like the on the Magic product. I think it's gonna be really good to bring nibblies into it, especially new players. The funny, we can do it 45 minutes. The oh, what is it? Oh, I know what we can do. Hold the phone. Night Taco. You hit us at a time. I'm about to kind of try to change gears here. What are we up to today? How's it going? I'm playing Destiny. We're gonna draw, I think. I think I'm gonna try to draw some stuff with my mouse. I only have 45 minutes left in the thing, so I'm gonna try to draw some stuff. Everybody likes drawing, right? Everybody loves it when I draw stuff. Doing dumb stuff? It's okay, we're gonna do dumb stuff too. Alright. Let's do it. Drawing session serial art? Session serial art's done. Session serial art's done. Let's see. Ah! Oh no! Get some sleep, friend. Ooh, a date tomorrow. Good luck. Thank you for the thank you for the subscription, friend. I really appreciate it. Italian? Ah! Thanks, Arthur. If ain't no one got me, Arthur got me. Okay. This might be kind of like, I don't know. Yeah! So the judge uniforms for Magic the Gathering judges is typically black polo shirts. Zane had it, but he didn't. He put a cat behind it. Okay, Session, I'm gonna do an easy one for you. I got you. Okay. Hey! What was it? Not gonna get it? You're so mad. Oh. Okay. That's too big. Oh no! Oh no! Not the chat box! Not the chat box striking again! Problem solved. No! Cosno had it. Cosno had it. Cosno was right. Cosno, you won in my heart. I draw like. I was about to draw Pride Rock in the background. I don't know how to. Oh, I do know how to draw this. Okay. Oh, that's really bad. Don't. Don't. I I don't know. I don't look. I don't know what to tell you. Cosmo's really close. Cosmo was really close. Cosmo put bowling lane instead of just lane. I don't know what else I'm supposed to draw. How else are you supposed to stand in lane? How are you supposed to draw as a lane? So they can think it was a lane. But I don't know. How do I draw this? Maybe like, then we just like this number. Maybe like. Cause you're a tank player. You know what kitchen sinking is. You kitchen sink your cooldowns because it's a big scary tank buster. Well, that's bulwark, and that's bloodwetting, and that's reprisal. Yeah, it's bulwark. It's on cooldown. I was trying to put it on cooldown. No one would know that? I'm just saying that if Session doesn't know what bulwark is, he may want to rethink his career. Okay. I got this. Okay. This is gonna be a hard one, chat. It's gonna be a hard one. Katie, would you like to explain to the chat? The slice of right. That's Yojimbo. Yes. Thank you. perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. I don't know what to tell you guys. You guessed it, didn't you? Okay, this one's gonna be hard. Neither of them were good. Neither of them were good. I don't know what to tell you. Neither of them were good. This was the better word. What is this mechanic? What is this mechanic? This one. This one. The gray squiggly mechanic. Gives you a thing. So close. How else would you write that? It's called abandonment. Abandonment. That's a debuff you get. The debuff's called abandonment. I don't know how else to draw it. It's one that sometimes gets skipped now in Cerberus. It's after you do chains, sub 30%. Okay. We can do this one. I'll put extra effort into this one. Thank you. Yeah, it's not a silence. It's a thing where if you don't stack together with somebody and hold hands, it'll give you terror. Arthur's getting it. Arthur understands me. I don't know how to draw this. I've completely lost the plot. Nope. Oh shit. This isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. Okay. This is the only thing I can think of. I just It was a traffic jam at Chocobos. You can have traffic with anything, Session. Yeah, I forgot. Um, 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 what if I... Oh, thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Like, Zodiarc's, like, major power is that he just adjusts a picture frame. I don't know. Like, even in the extreme version, he's like, I have ultimate power! And he just, like, turns the arena because the picture frame isn't quite straight. Like, he just turns a picture frame on the wall. Like, that's the best he can do. Thank you! Thank you! Thank you. I was about to start drawing like grape juice if the orange didn't help. No, you typed orange juice. You typed orange juice. All of you typed orange juice. Thank you. Thank you. If ain't no one got me, Quillen got me today. That's the apron that's in game. That's the little apron in game. calling out at me. Look, just because you can't recognize a hat doesn't mean that it's my fault. Dang, Sab's on point. Okay. Neither of these words are good. Good luck. Oh. Everyone's so close. And then they lost the plot. Everyone said, like, all the synonyms around it, but not actually dis. I saw people say flee, I saw people say escape, but no one said run away. Okay. Yeah, but you didn't say run away. It has to be that word. Okay. Thank you. Squirrel after a long day. Oh, thank you, Jessica. That's even have knees. Yeah? We have knees? What the fuck does this word even mean? Neither of these were good. Mentally prepare yourself for what's about to happen. Whoa! What the? I think my label of this is this color. Do you guys not put paprika on your deviled eggs? That's a deviled egg with paprika on it. Not a single one of y'all said deviled egg. Not a single one of y'all said deviled egg. No, Sab said deviled egg. Sab was on the right call. Sab was on the right call. I drew a deviled egg. That's a deviled egg. That's a deviled egg. In what world does this glorious... I don't know what a paprika looks like. Okay, well, get this one. This is all you get. I'll throw y'all a bone. Y'all are so close. Y'all are so close. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah! He's a sea sponge. Yeah. But he's a sea sponge. I'm going to find... Cat was always for distraction. Okay. Yes, Mercadia. I'm drawing with my mouse. What do you want from me? No, no, it was necessary. Sasha's the closest right now. Sasha's the closest. Ooh, Quillen. So close. Quillen, you're so close. Come on. Yes, yes, he's male. That's a man. He's on his way to his little job. He has his little briefcase. All right, this is his little briefcase for that mailman lure. Case closed. Mercadia's got me. clarinet? That's a flute. Yes! Oh, shit. Congratulations. Phew. All right. We got this one. um. Oh, ads? Ads. Okay. We'll wait because I need to look up what these words are. Chad, I don't know how to draw any of these. I don't know how to draw either of these. We're effed. You really are. So, I'll let y'all choose. Would you like the profession or the body part? Body part. Okay. Are you sure? appendix. Oh, if only it were that easy. If only we could be blessed with the easy. It wants a very specific name, similar to appendix or larynx, in terms of that's the name, and it's not just leg or arm or tail or schnibbly. It wants the very specific thing. I'm too dumb for this? Yeah, me too. I had to look at both of these. And the other one, I don't think anybody actually knows that that's what the word is for that. Okay, so we'll do the body part one. Does anybody know what this one is? Anybody knows what that word means? Anybody at all? That's ice. No, it's not. It's a profession. That's people who cut glass for a living. No, cut glass. Cuts glass. See, I thought it was a guy that glazed donuts too, Arthur, but apparently not. All right, we're back. We're drawing. Okay, I have to speed draw this because I have to put extra detail in it, so I hope you remember from earlier. Hope you know what that fucking thing's called. If you refresh, Tamarza, it should fix it. Thank God Mercadia got it. I have no idea then.